Today we asked the question, who can replace DeJuan Jones? Recently we learned that DeJuan Jones underwent surgery on his Achilles after going down against Vancouver. The surgery will put him out for about 9 months. So in the meantime, someone will have to fill in at the left back position. Our candidates are Vitor Costa, Paul Marie, and Jamar Ricketts. Since the beginning of the season, Vitor Costa is the player who's been replacing DeJuan Jones off the bench, just like we saw against Seattle and Vancouver. And realistically, this might be the choice that Bruce Arena goes with, but we're going to do a deep dive and see who the ideal replacement actually is. Like we said, Vitor Costa right now is the one coming off the bench for DeJuan. It's very likely that Bruce sees him as the first option to replace DeJuan Jones. And look, I have nothing against Vitor Costa. On his day, I think he's actually a well-rounded fullback, but when it's not his day, he is prone to errors and a lot of chaos. Paul Marie is the second option. Some people might not remember that Paul Marie used to be our starting left back. He actually played left back so often that we had to ask him what side he prefers. I think Paul Marie has really good attacking ability and is very strong with his link-up play, but I think we all know that he can be a bit of a liability in defense. Although he does make up for it when he scores a banger. The third option is Jamar Ricketts. For me, this is by far the most attacking option. Jamar probably has the most pace out of all the players I mentioned so far, and he has been known to be lethal with his left-footed crosses. The only cons are that I think he's still a little bit raw defensively, and currently he's the only cover that we have on the left wing. Benji Kikanovic is another player who can play left back, but I'm not considering him for this video because he's currently our starting right back. So let's look at some stats. I looked up stats from seasons where each candidate had comparable amounts of playing time, which for most of them happened to be 2025. Paul Marie didn't play much that year, so for him we're looking at 2024. Doing it this way gives us the best comparison for each player's per 90 stats. Also keep in mind that Jamar Ricketts is the only player with less than 1,000 minutes in the season that we're looking at. I'm going to put the rankings for each stat on the screen. I also included DeJuan Jones' stats to see how he stacks up against the rest. A stat that I thought was very surprising was Paul Marie having the most defensive contributions per 90. He also had the most tackles per 90. He's also just behind DeJuan Jones in recoveries per 90 with 4.87. This is surprising to me because Paul Marie isn't considered to be the strongest defensively. And to be clear, there are some pretty damning defensive stats, like the fact that he has the most XG against him per 90 when he's on the pitch, and also the fact that he dribbled past 1.94 times per 90 minutes, compared to the next highest, DeJuan Jones, with 0.96. Jamar Ricketts is leading a lot of these stats. However, as we mentioned, he is the main cover at left wing, so it's no surprise that a lot of his stats that he's leading in are attacking stats. So for that reason, I think we're going to cross Jamar out. But looking through the stats, there's one big glaring issue. As we talked about at the beginning of this video, Vitor Costa is currently in the lead position to be DeJuan Jones' replacement. But in all of the stats that we've covered, he has not topped a single one. When you look at his average position in these rankings, he is third overall. With all those stats considered, I think Paul Marie should be the next step to replace DeJuan Jones. I think Costa is a great option to have off the bench, but I think Paul Marie fits the team better. You might look at these stats and say, why don't we just put Jamar Ricketts back there? But again, I think going with Paul Marie gives Jamar Ricketts the freedom to stay as a forward and continue doing what he does best. From these numbers, you see that Paul Marie is more likely to make tackles or interceptions. He's also more composed in the attack and more likely to make successful dribbles. But again, I think that Vitor Costa is a really good option to have off the bench in case Paul's getting dribbled past too much, or you just need a left-footed option at left back to put more crosses in. But that's just my Tectonic take for the day. If you guys look at the numbers and come up with something different, feel free to let me know in the comments. Also, let me know if you guys like this type of content, because it's something that we haven't tried before. We'll be back soon with a podcast to preview the game against San Diego. But until then, go Quakes.